What's up guys, Matt from the Football Boots team, and what we have for you guys today is an absolute massive boot battle between two of the most popular boots on the market of today. Now to my right I've got the Nike Mercurial Vapor XI worn by Neymar Jr. But alongside that, to my left, we've got the Adidas X17.1 worn by Suarez. Two massive attack-minded boots in the market, but which one is the best boot for you? Let's find out in today's video. Neymar, Suarez, let's go. So when we're looking at the timeline of both Adidas's and Nike's very popular speed boots, looking at the Vapor first, and we're in our 11th generation. It's been here for such a long time and I can't imagine it going anywhere anytime soon. And we've also got the X, which is now in its 3rd generation. Both boots are low cut. You could say the X17.1 has a slight collar with that tech fit material, but which one do you prefer?
So personally, I don't really mind either of the heel cups on either of these boots, but obviously the collar fits slightly higher, but for me, I don't really notice much of a difference.
Of course, a massive talking point of any football boot, especially a speed boot, is the upper construction. The Vapor XI of course features that Tasian synthetic upper the Vapor is renowned for. It's been around for such a long time, and I think it's here to stay. Maybe on the Vapor 12, it could have some fly in it, which is something I think would be a massive positive. And then on the X, we've got another synthetic. Which one do you prefer, and what are the differences?
Personally, I prefer the Vapors, but that for me is simply because it's a lot softer to touch, and it's also a bit thinner, so it gives you a bit more of a barefoot sort of feel. The X is actually really thick. I don't actually like it that much. I'm a bit more biased towards the Vapor.
So alongside the actual upper construction, we've got some added textures on top. Now on the Vapor XI, we've got those horizontal ridges, which are actually quite prominent and are there to give you a bit more friction on the ball. And another nice touch is they actually give a little bit more stability and support and structure to the upper itself. And then on the X, we've got some NSG dots. In terms of actually touching and feeling the ball, can you feel the difference between the two, or is it a bit minuscule?
I'm going to say there's not much difference for me. When you're kicking the ball, you're kicking the ball. You don't really notice this one grips more than that one. They're very similar to me.
On to lacing systems, and this is where each of the Adidas and Nike models really differ. On the Vapor XI, we've got that double hoop which actually goes through the upper, but then on the X17.1, we've got those exposed hoops, so very, very different. In terms of the fit and feel, could you tell the difference between the two when you tested them out?
Not really. Like, I'm going to be honest, there isn't a massive difference. There is very good lockdown on the Vapor, but one slight problem, because it goes through under the boot, if you have, say, a twist in the lace or anything like that, you can feel that as like a bit of a bobble, a bit of a pain. But on the X, the one problem with that is that you don't feel like it's quite tightened down on your foot fully. Because the lace hoops are external, it doesn't fully pull down on your foot.
Flipping the boots over to look at their sole plates, and both the Vapor XI and X17.1 are built for fast-paced performances. The Vapor XI, just like on the Superfly 5, has one of the most unique sole plates you'll find. It's a layered nylon chassis and you can feel the contours with it. It really does kind of mold and bend with your foot very naturally. Very interesting. If you haven't worn them before, definitely give these a go. Nothing like you've ever tried before. And then on the X17.1, we've got Adidas's very popular sprint frame. There's not many negatives with the Vapor or the X. I think both of the sole plates are very good quality, both built for fast-paced performances. But what about the stud configuration?
So the stud configuration, on the Vapor we have chevron-shaped studs, and on the X we have conical-shaped studs. They're not fully conical, they're a little bit cut to give you a little bit more grip. But the Vapor's sole plate is unreal traction, like nothing else. Like you said, it contours to your foot, but the studs just grip. Your planting foot just gets stuck in the ground every time you plant it, you're not going anywhere. Whereas on the X you can get a little bit of movement, but it's actually still a very decent sole plate.
Now there's a lot of you guys out there who want to buy the Vapor XI or the X17.1. That's the reason we did this boot battle, because they are such popular football boots. So one really important factor is the fit. Now for me, I'm very lucky, I've got very normal feet, so I can easily wear the Vapor XI or the X17.1. Now is there a difference between the two boots with someone with slightly wider feet?
Like Matty just said, I have slightly wider feet, which means the Vapor for me is a little bit too narrow. I get that pressure point on the outside of my little toe, whereas on the X they're slightly wider, so they accommodate my wide feet a little bit more.
Now, there's no doubt both these boots from Nike and Adidas actually perform very well. But one slight negative for myself, Tommy, and for a lot of you guys out there are the designs. Looking at the Vapor 11 first, and we've got that horizontal pinstripes, not to my personal taste, and I'm not too sure about that Nike logo stamped right on the medial side of the boot. But one nice thing is that on the Radiation Flare Vapor 11, in this electric green colorway, we can see that the Vapor 11 can look really good, given a solid base coat. And then on the X17.1, we've got that dotted kind of texture, which is also the design for it, white with the black. If you had to choose one of the two, which one would it be?
That's a struggle for me because I don't think I'd go into the store and pick either of these boots out, to be honest. The colorways just aren't quite for me. I do like the touch on the Nike tick. It's got nice little stars on the silver. But for me, I think I'd probably go for the X just because the Vapor's a little bit too bold and loud for me.
So we can talk about performance of each boot all day, every day. But one factor you just can't neglect is the comfort, maybe the most important factor when choosing your football boot. Now, it's actually really interesting and maybe even a little bit controversial. Although the X17.1 does feature a slightly thicker upper, there could be an argument to say that they're not actually as comfortable as the very thin and second skin Vapor 11. Talk us through why.
So personally, I like soft boots. I like leather boots that are always soft. So for me, the Vapor is a lot nicer on my feet. The creasing on the X actually hurts my feet. The only problem with the Vapor for me is the width because I have wider feet, but I think I would still pick it over the X at the end of the day.
Looking at the Mercurial range from Nike, there's not just the Vapor 11 available, we've also got the Veloce, which is only available in that DF version. It used to be available in the low cut, but at the moment, the Veloce is only available in that heightened collar version. But we've also got the Victory, which is a good thing. You can get in the low cut or the DF. That is up to you. But we've also got alternative models for the X. Tommy, talk us through them.
So we have the 17.2 and the 17.3 as alternate models. There is an argument that says that the 17.2 is actually a better boot with a softer upper.
As you guys can see, we don't just have the Vapor 11 from Nike, the X17.1 from Adidas, but we've also got the Mizuno Neo 2, the Umbro Velocita, and the Furon 2.0. Probably the 5 most popular speed boots on the market, but which one would I choose? Well, you could say I'm a little bit biased because they're my favourite brand, but the Mizuno Mercurial Neo 2 is unbelievable. Great quality football boot, but Tommy, out of 5, which one would you go for?
So it's no secret that I like leather boots, so that sort of cuts down the options pretty quick. I'm going to have to copy you and go for the Neo. These would be the boot for me.
But what about you guys? Vote in the poll car now. Out of these 5 boots on the table, which one would you pick up and wear for your matches? So guys, that pretty much wraps up our boot battle between the Vapor 11 and the X17.1, 2 of the most popular speed boots on the market. So I hope this is giving you a better insight into which boots you should buy for the upcoming season. But guys, that pretty much wraps it all up. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and as always,
we'll see you next time.